Welcome back to Ride JBI. This is JB. Today we finished a custom build in JBI Suspension Revalve on this Yamaha YZ125 KYB SSS Gen 1 forks. And now we're going to break down everything that we did. This suspension was revalved to our JBI Suspension Motocross spec. The upper fork tube received our JBI Suspension Fukushima bronze coating. And the lower fork tube received our JBI Suspension Chameleon coat. And we paired that with a JBI Cerakote gloss black on the lugs and some JBI blue titanium bolts. RideJBI.com has categories for each of the coatings there, and also all of the JBI titanium bolts that are available. For reference, I have the damper out of the forks and not installed yet. Right now, this is the stock spring, as the K-Tech springs that we ordered have not showed up yet, but we'll be using the K-Tech brand springs on this build. Those have a much smoother, polished finish than the OEM spring shown here. And they're also laser marked on the end with the spring rate that's on there, so it makes it easy to identify. And above the spring is our newest JBI Titanium Pro Perch. This provides the forks with much more bottoming resistance compared to the stock spring perch. By improving the bottoming resistance of the fork, we're able to simplify the demands of the damping cartridge, meaning when it comes to valving the cartridge assembly, we can focus on making it very plush and smooth feeling. We don't have to focus on also trying to build it with enough high-speed compression resistance for good bottoming. Again, because the Pro Perch is going to be the one, or the piece, contributing the bottoming resistance of the fork. Now, by isolating and really optimizing each function of the fork is how we're able to really improve the performance of the forks. Again, because each item is able to be modified to do its job the best it can without having to do any overlapping as well. We'll step back a little bit, taking a view of these forks. These custom builds are always really fun to do. We put a lot of effort into our JBI suspension settings, and those settings perform really well. So it's fun when we get to do a custom build and also make the forks or shock look as good as it's going to perform. A lot of time and effort is put into the RideJBI.com website to have lots of information about all of our JBI suspension services that we offer, and all of the parts that we offer as well. And it's very detailed and transparent on everything that we do. So you as a customer and rider can do your due diligence and research on what we're doing, why we do it, and most importantly, what you should expect as a rider when you get your suspension back. In 2006 was the first year that these KYB SSS forks first came out on the market on the Yamaha YZ and YZF models. And there has not been many hardware updates to them up until about 2018, when the new YZF 450 received the Gen 2 KYB SSS fork. What that was is a larger mid-valve. They increase the size of that by 1 millimeter. And what that does is it increases the amount of volume of oil that the mid-valve has to move through. This can improve the speed-sensitive characteristics of the fork. Also, the mid-valve is updated to what's called the leaf spring style mid-valve on the YZF models for those Gen 2 KYB forks, and that is something we do to update these Gen 1 KYB SSS forks. That is, update the mid-valve to a leaf spring style mid-valve. It helps provide the forks with good hold-up during aggressive riding without being overly stiff. They can be a little more complex to set up, but it is always well worth the extra effort.